Hey friends, just going live today on Monday, finishing up my coffee so I can get to, I think I've got like somewhere around 8 songs to mix today and the live videos that go with them. So crazy day, probably another like 10-12 hour day, but before I got rolling, wanted to say hey, and had another thought that I hope can help some of you guys, especially the creative types, producers, artists, singer-songwriters. So was thinking about a lot of the calls I've had recently with some of you guys and some of the chatter I've been involved in and comments and stuff on my posts and other people's posts. And this is just my take on it, and you can take it or leave it, I guess. But I think getting the order of things right is one of the most important things for artists, especially newer artists. So if you are about to drop something for the first time, or you're working on your first project, or it's been a while since you released something, I kind of, in my mind, all those people are in the kind of the same boat. It's like new starts and restarts. And getting the order of things right is so important. It's what I missed out on in 2 failed band launches. I was part of this band called The Patient that, man, we really believed in our scene. We were like, man, we can be going places. We're in Columbia, South Carolina, and still some of the best musicians I've ever played with in my life. And like, sky was the limit for us, right? So we cut a record in Nashville, dropped it, and that was the last show we played, was the release show. Turn around a handful of years later, I started my own project, Bareface, did the same thing, but, tried to play tons of local shows, tons of area shows, all that kind of stuff. We played all the time. We still got the order wrong. So what's the order? I'm talking about releasing music before you've got a fan base. As I look back over like 10 years of failure for myself and for my bands, that was really one of the big things was, we got the order wrong. So, for any of you guys that have studied economics at all, like, the first lesson is on the concepts of supply and demand. And so what happens when me as an artist, when I release something into the world, when there's no demand, is it's not going to get bought. Nobody's there to care. So that's kind of affected everything for me, realizing the decade that I really did everything wrong. And now my clients are starting to see results from what I did poorly. But I kind of had this like, ultimately it was like a moral thing. The last band I produced, besides my own stuff, we released it, and it's still an awesome record. And it got a little buzz locally, but it didn't really help them move forward, right? And it's because they didn't really have a fan base. They didn't really have demand. They didn't really have people going, we really need your music. And so they spent some money that they didn't have, and I gave them a bro rate because I was trying to help, and it still didn't recoup. And so I was just like, this is probably bad for business, but I was just like, I'm not going to take anybody's money for producing anything until I figure this out, until I figure out how stuff can actually recoup its investment, but increase, right? To where the next time we turn around, the project can be bigger and they can be more self-sufficient after working with me. So that's kind of how I stumbled into coaching, was, having people reach out, and I'd finally kind of figured out some stuff about building this audience stuff. So people reached out to have me produce, and I was like, look, we got to work on this thing first. And now that I've been doing it for like almost a year, it's been working. Just got a text from a client this morning, or woke up to it, and she started as a new start back in April. So 0 fans, 0. She had a lot of songs that she'd been writing for a long time, hadn't released anything, released like an EP of demos that she recorded at home over the summer, I think, maybe June, July. And she just released a single. But from April till now, all organically, we haven't run paid ads or anything. She has 800 fans. And it's not just people who like clicked a like button. It's 800 people that she's built relationships with since April. So I guess 6 months, 7 months, something like that, since we started. And those people are demanding her music. And so now we're starting to have conversations about professionally recording her music because there's demand now. There's 800 people who are saying, hey, it's awesome that you play live for us all the time, but we need something that we can spin in our cars. We need something that we can stream while we're working out. We need something that we can play when we're at work. And now she is in a place, she has positioned herself in a place to where she's going to release that. And instead of going into the void that is, hey guys, dropped a new single, check it out, and you just hear crickets, it's like, now we're going to release it, and 800 people are going to listen, and probably 75 to 80% of them are going to listen to it 20, 30 times, something like that. I mean, I'm not good at mental math right now, but that's a lot. That's a lot of streams. And I know there are a bunch of us who have like, I've got one client who, when she started with me, she had like 20,000 followers on Instagram, and none of her songs had broken through 1,000 on Spotify, right? So that's a problem, right? You've got an audience with 0 demand. And so we've been trying to flip that, right? So she's actually lost followers, which is good because we're trying to filter out who actually cares, because those are the numbers that'll push you forward. So anyway, I'm ranting here a bit, but it's really because I just come in here with an idea. But getting that order right is so incredibly important. It'll save so much more money. It'll save so much more energy. It's like, yeah, you got to put stuff in the right order in order for it to hit. So I love you guys. Keep hustling. If you want to chat about maybe getting some help with that kind of stuff, even if it's just a free phone call. I don't work with everybody that I chat with, but I'm glad to make time. I'm super crazy busy right now, but I'm booking for January and February already. So I graduate in December, so I'll have so much more bandwidth after that. But man, if you've got songs that need to be heard, like if you're saying something worth listening to, it needs to be listened to, right? Music has always been on the leading edge of social change and reform. And we need songs like that more than ever. So if you've got songs like that, they need to be heard. People need to listen to them. And they're not going to listen to them if you just release them into a void and don't have a plan to build relationships with them first. So people don't care about you until you care about them 10 times. Anyway, all right, that's it. I got to run and get to work. I got to down my coffee, but hope you guys have an awesome day. Hit me up if we need to talk, or I'll just keep putting stuff out like this that I hope helps. But keep up the good work. Make sure to get the order right. If you're working with producers who don't really care about how the song hits after, I would say maybe you got the wrong guy or girl. You got the wrong person. Find someone who's going to care about it actually pushing you forward, because that's what you need. Anyway, I love you guys a lot. I hope you have an awesome day. Keep hustling. We'll see ya.